So my name is Sadiq. I'm named after my dad's father, whose name was Sadiq. And Sadiq, I never saw him. He passed away before I was born. And he had leukemia. So he had a form of leukemia that was very treatable by the CAR T therapies today. So the thing that really motivates me here is just in the back of my mind thinking, how many other people are there out there like my grandfather? And how can the work that we do enable those individuals to spend more time with their loved ones? It's just a very motivating feeling when you think of it in that context.
There is still about 20 million new cases year after year of cancer diagnosed around the world. The FDA predicts to approve up to 10 or 20 new biotherapeutic drugs yearly by 2025. So we are at an inflection point.
Could we actually do the first question again? Because I think this was Could you predict the next 10 years?
I don't feel qualified enough to make good predictions on the next 10 years of cell and gene therapy. But I think we'll see that autologous CAR T will continue to grow and be adopted.
I'd be careful always to use, I think, the words cure, but I think we are actually getting closer and closer to that realization. So you'll be seeing cell therapy being mentioned as a very standard treatment, I think, in the future, to stand alongside the other pillars, for example, for cancer treatment, such as radiation, surgery, chemotherapy.
Cell therapy itself is still in its infancy and has tremendous growth potential, but we're already seeing things like the mRNA impact on COVID vaccines.
Right now, it's a lot of vaccines that is going for the pandemics or infectious diseases, but I do think that the cancer is where we see the cancer vaccine is something that is coming.
And I think the excitement with mRNA is that there's many applications beyond vaccines. You have gene editing, genetic modification of cell therapies, and even in basic drug discovery and new molecule discovery, mRNAs are having a big role there as well.
There's some very exciting news now in autoimmune disease, where there's never been cures. And then, as I mentioned, we had earlier this year from investigators here at the University of Pennsylvania, John Epstein's lab and Drew Weissman, and along with my lab, treating heart failure now, but injecting mRNA into mice. Now, this is mice still. We could treat heart failure with it, and so I think that's going to be tested in humans. And very exciting. And I think the final way that I'm excited about is there's data that inflammation also occurs in dementia. So many forms of either Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, I think, are going to be treated with cell and gene therapies.
What could be the next,
Crazy idea. Oh, don't encourage me to have crazy ideas. That's not good.
20 years from now, well, hopefully I will be sitting on a beach or on a boat in 20 years.
Crazy idea that you have a very quick diagnosis to treatment, almost bedside.
I'm hoping one day that they can cure patient at a bedside.
Taking a sample or quickly a gene sequence from a patient, mRNA printout at the hospital that develops the therapy back to the patient within a day.
Or I was discussing of one day we can go to a pharmacy.
Going to your local drugstore, getting your drug and getting your treatment.
And I think we're going to get more accurate in terms of diagnosing patients.
Very precision diagnosis. Effectively, we can save lives earlier and with less suffering of the patients.
I'm very excited that RNA technology is going to allow, for at least some diseases, a simple injection and very much simplify the process.
I think in 20 years, we're going to have potentially curative therapies for diseases that we thought were never curable.
We're really fortunate in this area with cell and gene therapy where, I started my medical training in leukemia where it was almost always a death sentence, and now we have something that can cure many of those patients, and that's a huge privilege to be part of that technology. It's a true revolution or paradigm shift in medicine.
Could you name a challenge or project you most enjoy overcoming?
I enjoy projects where people or skeptics say it'll never be done, like you can't do it, this is impossible. I remember in the early days of CAR T therapy, when you had pioneers trying to industrialize these therapies, a lot of skeptics were out there saying you can never take a personalized therapy like a CAR T therapy and, number one, industrialize it, number two, make it global, and number three, have patients and doctors actually, using these therapies. But what I've learned is that in that skepticism, there's always tremendous opportunities. And the reason that we're here today is because of the persistence and the patience and the doggedness, the real will of innovators, but also because those innovators partnered with companies such as Cytiva that were able to take sometimes those visions and turn them into reality.